Hi, I'm Katie with Ask Slim. Today I'm going to bring you chart analysis for Palantir. This analysis was requested by one of our level 4+ members. It's a benefit of that membership tier to be able to request analysis on 2 symbols each week. Palantir is a data analytics company. It's named after Tolkien's Seeing Stones in Lord of the Rings. Now, yesterday, Bank of America upgraded this stock and gave it a target price of $13, but we say not yet. We think there will be a better time to buy coming later in the summer, so let's take a look at the chart. Now, this is a 5-year weekly chart of Palantir. We have cycle brackets here on the bottom that are 20 bars in length. They are further divided into minor half cycles, and I'm going to trace out those minor cycles for you to see because they are very clear. Now, another thing on these charts is these purple vertical lines. They show where the actual dominant cycle lows occurred relative to the average represented by the cycle brackets. And the blue vertical dashed lines over here on the right show a period of time plus and minus a few weeks around this ideal cycle bottom when we would expect this current cycle to make its low. Another thing I want to call your attention to on the chart is the momentum indicator, our proprietary reversal scout, which is the green and purple ribbon on the chart. Currently, we still have negative momentum. So Palantir started to have trouble last fall when it failed from this resistance zone and broke through the cycle low support here very early in the cycle. When we get a cycle peak early on in a cycle, we call that a left-hand translation. When that happens, the probabilities favor further declines all the way through the rest of the cycle, and that is what happened here. This cycle ended much lower than where it began. We call that a negative configuration. Negative configurations also reflect a high probability of not being able to take out the prior cycle high, but instead favor failing in the resistance zone in the subsequent cycle. As you can see, Palantir couldn't even get up into the resistance zone before failing and breaking through that cycle low support. So that's another left-hand translation and negative configuration for this cycle. Now we made a minor cycle low right here and moved up, similar to what has happened in all of these past cycles, but we have not been able to make it up into this minor resistance zone, which would be a high probability entry point for a short side trade going into this timing window between June 27th and August 12th. Now we are targeting a retest of that minor cycle low at 644, which corresponds approximately to this intermediate 50% fib extension level at 618. And below that, we have another fib extension level at 413. If we take a look at this daily chart, we may be able to pinpoint more closely when that low could come. Now on the daily chart here, we have a 25-bar cycle as well as a previous 16-bar cycle in light gray. We call that a ghosted cycle, but we leave it on the chart when it still appears to be exerting some influence. Sometimes ghosted cycles can regain their dominance. So here is that minor cycle low from the weekly chart. As Palantir moved up out of that low, this subsequent cycle was positively configured with a right-hand translation, meaning that it ended higher than where it began and it peaked later in the cycle over on the right-hand side. Now we're about a week into this new daily cycle. Notice the dates over here when we are expecting it to bottom, July 19th to July 28th. Those dates fit right within the timing window back on the weekly chart, and that's why we would be expecting weakness in this cycle. This projects down to that 50% fib extension level from the weekly chart, and that is why we say not yet to Bank of America's upgrade. We believe that the time period for Palantir to be able to do better will be coming out here later in the summer. To learn more about our memberships, tools, and services, please visit our website at askslim.com.